Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. This is your host Ram, welcoming you to your favorite show, the Cricket Happening Show. And on this Cricket Happening Show, it's going to be a very short Cricket Happening Show, I'm afraid. As we have been saying, there's not much cricket to talk about, but yes, there is one match that I'm going to talk about, and that is going to be between the first match between the India on their first tour of India in their first game on the tour of Sri Lanka, drawing the match against the Sri Lankan board President's 11. The Indian batsman had a good workout at the centre just before the first Test match, one could say. As you know, they resumed at an overnight score of 135 for 3 with Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane at crease. So what basically India did is they decided not to really extend the innings. Everyone got a hit. Like Virat Kohli retired out after 53 with 7 boundaries. Ajinkya Rahane retired out with 40 with 3 boundaries. Rohit Sharma retired out with 38 with 1 4. Dhawan made 41 with 7 fours. And Riddhiman Shah was not on 36 with 2 sixes. Pandya made 11 and Ravindra Jadeja making 18 with 2 boundaries. So basically they ended up with a score of 312 for 9. So basically it was a sort of a real workout for the Indian batsmen. They did not really try to stretch themselves. They probably were trying to get acclimatized to the Sri Lankan batting pitches and also the climbs there. The climbs are almost the same as it's in the subcontinent. As you know, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh have similar climates. So it's not a big, it's not something, but definitely getting, I would say, getting used to the pitches there in Sri Lanka, which is good. So as far as the bowling is concerned, Fernando at 237 today, coming in, not much to really look after because 2 for 81, Tharindu Kaushal getting amongst the wicket line there, 2 for 81. So, and the match was actually, it ended in a draw. So as I said, it's a very short cricket show. There's not much to really dwell on, unfortunately. But nevertheless, as you know, my cricket show always goes on, irrespective of what happens. As far as cricket is concerned, this show should go on. That's my dictum in cricket, that the show should go on. Well, other than that, the other news that I could really say here is that I'm also told the United States will be playing some T20 games against the Caribbean Premier League teams. That's one thing which is coming up. Other than that, nothing. There's not much news. As I said, it's a very. Since it gives me time here, I can share one thing. The other day, we saw in the Women's World Cup between India and Australia a very lesser known player by the name Harmanpreet Singh absolutely bashed the Aussies there. She rose like a phoenix from the ashes, one could say. He just came there and banged the Australian bowlers right, left and centre in the Women's World Cup in the semi-finals to actually set up a big score, and he broke a lot of records in the midst of it, and thus India reached the finals of the finals of the World Cup 2017. So the women have done what the men did in the Champions Trophy, but their rivals tomorrow is going to be the host England, who actually missed out in the T20 World Cup in the Champions Trophy when they lost against Pakistan in the semi-final. But now it's England versus India in the Women's World Cup, which is happening in England. And what a proud feeling that would be for the Indians. No doubt about it. The Indian women are definitely making India very, very proud after coming in. What an innings from that Harmanpreet Singh. She bashed 12 sixes in that knock. She scored 171 runs. She broke all the records that were there of making 171 runs, and that was quite something. Other than that, that is something that I want to share. So that is coming up tomorrow. Her name is Kaur, Harmanpreet Kaur. A sort of a monster of an innings from Harmanpreet Kaur, smashing 171 against Australia in the semi-finals to actually push India into the finals of the World Cup. She said that basically she wanted to do her best, and that's what she did. There have been a lot of reactions coming in that In fact, she made 103 of just 40 deliveries, 22 that she hit of 1 over. And this was simply like probably a Shahid Afridi-like innings that Harmanpreet Singh was playing. One could probably say that. And other than that, the Indian skipper Mithali Raj would be very, very happy with what has been done. I mean, this was simply a stupendous innings from Harmanpreet Singh. Take a bow, Harmanpreet Singh, in the Women's World Cup. So that is as far as that is concerned. Cow smashing 171 against the Aussies. Now I will have a quick look at the Natwest T20 blast just to see as to what's happening. I mean, Kevin Peterson the other day was in the news, and once more we saw Kevin Peterson coming in the news once again. In fact, Kevin Peterson, he played a stroke and he was halfway down. Finch was not ready for it. Aaron Finch rushed down as when Kevin Peterson was playing for Surrey. He rushed down the pitch, and it seemed that Kevin Peterson was absolutely bemused because it was a pretty funny sort of a dismissal where Peterson, it was a run-out mishap which involved Kevin Peterson. And when Kevin Peterson is there is definitely some news to be had, no doubt about it. He made news in the first game when he hit those 4 sixes of Simon Harmer, the Rana Murphy. And in fact, he went on to say that he would actually play left-handed. He will play left-handed for England without pads. He says he's so good that even now he can go and represent England and play left-handed without wearing any pads. And that is what Kevin Peterson is all about. He's a gung-ho approach guy, and one likes that aggro in Kevin Peterson. Peterson is someone who really likes to take on the game. And that is what makes cricket very exciting. And Kevin Peterson did that as the match was actually played between Surrey versus Middlesex at a full house Kia Oval, and it was some very nice stuff. In fact, it all started off with Aaron Finch, the opener, not really running, leaving Kevin Peterson mid-pitch, but Aaron Finch had to sacrifice his wicket as he was actually ball watching, I reckon. But later on he saw Kevin Peterson halfway down the pitch. He also took his steps out, and that resulted in Finch getting run out. I'll try to see whether I can actually talk about this game because that is something that I would like to talk about. The match was played between Surrey and Middlesex, and we will have a look at the scores here just to see as to what really happened. So it was Surrey who batted first, and they actually got by batting first. They got 156 for 7 on the board with that mishap that happened early in the piece when Kevin Peterson came one drop. Souther, in fact, Jason Roy and Finch had given a nice start, a decent start to the Surrey innings by rattling on 68 runs in almost 7 overs. So it was some nice beginning being made by the Surrey opening batsman Jason Roy and Aaron Finch, of the contribution being 29 coming from Jason Roy of 21 deliveries, 4 fours and 1 6. Aaron Finch was there, and that was the time this particular Aaron Finch was looking pretty good, I would say. He in fact kind of sacrificed his wicket for Kevin Peterson as he was run out for 40 by Roland Jones, 40 of 22 deliveries, 4 fours and 1 6. Kevin Peterson was dismissed cheaply. Probably that really played on his nerves there after Aaron Finch was run out for no mistake of his, and that resulted in another 10 runs being added, and Peterson was seen walking back to the pavilion when he was caught by Toby Roland Jones of the bowling of Stephen Finn for 4. Sangakkara could only contribute 18 of 15 deliveries, 2 fours. Sibley made 23 of as many bowls with 1 4, being a victim of Roland Jones. Pope made 31 of 24 with 4 boundaries. Sam Curran won. Tom Curran was not out on 3, and 156 for 7 was what the Surrey actually put up on the board. The bowling, Tim Southee, 4 overs, 1 for 39. Stephen Finn was a picture of economy, 4 overs, 1 for 19. Toby Roland Jones, 4 overs, cracked for 37 with 1 wicket. Franklin bowled 1 over, which cost him 14. Souter was impressive as well. 4 overs, 19 runs and 2 wickets. And David Mallon wheeled his arm over for 3 overs, in which he gave away 23 runs. But the good thing was that he picked up a wicket. And as far as as far as Middlesex chase was concerned, Middlesex really struggled. In fact, they lost their captain Brendan McCullum pretty early as he was out for a blob of 5 deliveries. Mallon could not do much. He was gone for 12, falling to the Curran brothers. 12 of 11, 1 4. Morgan made 32 of as many balls with 3 fours. Peter Sterling coming in at number 2 made 6 runs, being a victim of Meeker. Franklin made 38 of 28 deliveries, 1 4, being a victim of Curran. Higgins made 7. Simpson was not bowled by Curran for 27. But Roland Jones and Saudi could not take them home, as I thought the bowling, one has to really credit the bowling. The Surrey bowling has to be really credited for doing this. Dernbach bowled a good line, 4 overs, 1 for 28. The Curran brothers were impressive. Sam Curran in particular was very impressive. 4 overs, no matter 3 for 28. Tom Curran, his brother, 4 overs, none for 35. Meeker bowled 4 overs, 1 for 19, was the most economical of the lot. Gareth Batty, 4 overs, 2 for 29, and it was all over. And Surrey, for the second time, they restricted a team here to 141 for 7. There was no doubt about the man of the match. It was Sam Curran who bowled superbly, I thought. So definitely that is as far as that particular match is concerned between Surrey and Middlesex. Now the next match that I'm going to look after is Ravi Bopara getting into the mix. We are talking about the other team here, and I'm just going to tell you about the stats as well. I mean, as far as that is concerned, this particular match where Ravi Bopara really showed himself as to what his bowling skills are with his military medium pace bowling. He picked up 4 scalps to actually take his team to victory. So let's see what really Ravi Bopara did there to actually really show as to what he was capable of. In fact, he was the one who actually helped Essex go on to actually beat Hampshire over there, and Bopara took 4 wickets to take Essex into the ascendancy there. So let's see what really happened. So I'm just trying to get on to that now as to really tell you as to what really happened. It was the result was it was Essex who were batting. So Bopara's 4 wickets. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at Ravi Bopara as to what he really did. I do apologize, dear friends, that it's taking a bit of time here to really get on to the brass tacks there. But I'm sure I'm going to be there in a short while from now. So let's have a look at the Hampshire innings there. So Hampshire actually batting first. Yes, it was Hampshire actually batting first. So Hampshire and Essex were the ones, and Essex actually winning the match. Hampshire batted first. Wins on the top of the order, making 29 of 22, 4 boundaries and 1 6. Really, Rozu was dismissed pretty early for 4 of as many balls with 1 4. Carberry, it was good to see Carberry in action after quite a long time after he battled cancer, and good to see him in action. Michael Carberry made 30 of 25 balls with 3 4s. He also played the Big Bash League, as you would all know. Aslop, 9 of 10 balls with 1 4. Shahid Afridi contributed a very quiet 13 of 14 deliveries. Bailey made 8. McManus 5. Berg not out 11. Abbott 2 and Crane 3. 124 for 9. So some very good bowling, actually restricting the Hampshire to 126 for 9. Mohammad Amir, 4 overs 1 for 18, was brilliant in his spell, I thought. Walter, 4 overs 220. I mean, the bowling was simply breathtaking, I would say, as far as the Essex were concerned. Dixon, 4 overs 1 for 25. Simon Harmer once again got a bit of tap. The other day he had a lot of tap from Kevin Peterson. Today it was a different person altogether who smacked him. 2 overs 1 for 28. Ravi Bopara was the pick of the bowlers. 4 overs, no maiden, 19 runs and 4 wickets to Ravi Bopara. Ashar Zaidi bowled 2 overs 1 for 12. Now, as far as Essex were concerned, Essex were given a target, and the target definitely looked very easy target, and that was what really happened. Vikram Chopra was out to the bowling for Abbott for 2 of 3 balls, and Wheeler, the opener, contributed an unbeaten 44 of 32 deliveries with 6 4. Asher Zaidi was out to Berg for 17, but it was about Lawrence who smacked 47 of 33 deliveries, 7 4s and 1 6. Before being caught and bowled by Shahid Afridi. Ravi Bopara, the bat guided them to victory, not on 11, and it was all over. Essex actually winning the match in a canter, one could say. And as far as the bowling from the Essex were concerned, from Hampshire were concerned, Don Topley 3 overs none for 18, Kyle Abbott 3 overs 1 for 27, Berg 3 overs 1 for 36 for Scarsley. Mason Crane also got a bit of a clatter. 2 overs was slammed for 22. Shahid Afridi bowled 3 overs for 25 with 1 wicket, and the man of the match definitely going to Ravi Bopara. It was played at Chelmsford, the county ground. So dear fan subscribers, I think there's not much to really talk about as far as, so today it was all about the India-Sri Lanka game, the first match being drawn, the first match of the tour of Sri Lanka, and the second one was the T20 Blast, Natwest T20 Blast cricket updates that were given to you. Well, dear fan subscribers, it's about time for me to say goodbye on this cricket show by promising you that there'll be more cricket happenings coming in your way tomorrow. That's on my next cricket happening show, which will happen on a Sunday. Thanks for your company and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings. This is your host Ram signing off for the day.